You realize how much pizza they could buy?
It's so much pizza.
For $6.50 for 2 slices. Welcome to the Pixel Podcast. My name is Matt, and I'm here with Ethan.
Hello.
And Ricardo.
Yo.
And no one else this time.
It's just us.
It's just us.
The three
I
of
always
us.
leave it hanging, though, just in case you're like, oh, who's the guest? It's no one.
Well, we usually say in the description if there's a guest.
No one reads that.
You're right.
I don't read descriptions, I just listen.
They just see a new podcast from the Pixel Podcast, my favorite podcast of all time. Download, play. I don't read what's going on.
And by they, that means everyone. Because everyone listens to us.
Yes.
Because we're the best.
Around.
No one's going to ever
bring you
down.
I don't think I think it's been a while since we've not had a guest on.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like I've missed you guys.
Yeah, man. It's like we also have to
put on
appease that other person.
Professional faces, but now we can just let our hair down.
I hate it.
Ethan's put his hair up, but and Ricardo's wearing a hat.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Indoors.
It's not even cold.
Is that bad to wear a hat inside?
This is not the 1920s.
Yeah,
we're not gonna hold you to that anymore.
I mean, also it's a beanie, so it's not as much like a baseball hat. But even then, it's like it doesn't matter that much.
And the little propeller on it keeps spinning around, even though there's no wind in here. How's it doing that?
I'm blowing on it.
Are you? Wait, was it you guys that we were having the weird discussion with the beanie being the hat with the propeller and like something else? Oh no, that was on that was on that was on a Giant Bombcast.
Yeah.
I remember. I think.
Yeah. Because depending on what part of the country you're in, for here in California, beanie means usually a knitted or wool or cotton, like stretchy, just like cap that you just put on your head when it's cold and it covers your ears, which some people refer to as a well,
on the podcast, I think Brad Shoemaker was saying that's a toboggan.
Yeah,
like, what are you
never heard of that.
Toboggan. That's what you get on. That's what you write down.
That's what everybody else was saying.
Yeah. And there's other caps. There's other names for that too. Yeah. I think in the division there's a couple different names. They're all beanies, but there's like 3 or 4 different names for them.
Well, it depends on where they're from.
Yeah, and if they're
you ask its name, and it's like I'm a toboggan. It's like no, you're not.
And if they're trendy or not.
Yeah, that's true.
Division, is that what the division's about? The division of names and beanies.
Yeah. Well, I took there's a really cool quiz on the New York Times one time about like what do you call the type of intersection where it's a circle instead of a traffic light, and there was like 4 different names, and then it was like
roundabout.
Yeah, so roundabout was what we would call it. In the UK, they call it that too. But there's like 3 or 4. There's like a circle intersection, circle change, like go round a car moving. Like, there's like 3 or 4 names, and I was like, no one calls them this. That's stupid.
What do you
call? And there was like one that's like, what do you call a sugary drink that is usually carbonated with a variety of flavors? And it's like soda, pop. Coke.
Like some people call every soda Coke.
It was funny, and then it like when you click on your answer, it shows you a map of America, and it was like, here's where you are, like most likely where we think you're from based on this.
Grew up anyway.
And if you chose Coke, it was like Georgia, Atlanta, and like that was like
that's true
because everything's Coke there.
I think that's dumb. Also, soda's dumb. Honestly, I think because soda could mean soda water.
I say soda too,
soda.
but
like, what would you prefer?
Preferably,
soft drink, not a hard drink. Therefore, it is
I hate the way pop sounds, but that's like the one that makes
gross.
Sense.
Ew, no, get out of here. Go move to Michigan.
I like pop, but I don't ever use it.
I never use it.
Comes to mind.
It doesn't out of my sight.
It doesn't sound good. It doesn't flow off the tongue. Pop.
Soda pop.
But soda pop actually sounds kind of better.
Like you're from the 1950s.
Hey, soda pop.
Scoop your fries.
Can you give me a Pepsi free? He's going on Pepsi, man. You have to pay for it.
Pepsi Cola. What?
Well, I'll take a tab.
A cola is a specific type of soft drink.
You don't have a tab. You haven't ordered anything yet.
A soft drink is like what they should be called.
The funny thing is that when I first saw Back to the Future, I didn't get because I had never seen a tab soda, and I don't think they still exist anymore.
I got the tab. I was just like, what the hell is a Pepsi free? Like, what?
So I guessed Pepsi. I just through context, I was like, he must mean a Diet Pepsi or something similar. But
like
he's like, just give me a tab, and I'm like, what's a tab? Is he talking about because I thought that was like the guy was being the correct answer for that. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
It was it was probably like the hot soda drink of that day. The Pepsi Free was like, this is gonna put us like
on the map.
This is gonna be current and
someone
stuff.
paid advertising money for that.
Yeah,
like they're hoping like Reese's Pieces.
Yeah, like Crystal Pepsi if you ever saw it in a movie or something.
I just like that when he's like, give me something without any sugar, and he pulls out a cappuccino or whatever. But he just like pulls it out. He doesn't like go make a cappuccino. He's just like, here's this one I have sitting here. Just like, it's just wait, that's really weird. I've never been to a coffee shop.
Well, this other guy came by and spit in this, and then he gave it back. So I just have it under here. Here you go.
You're a weird kid.
You're annoying me.
Yeah. Because like you go to a Starbucks and they're just like, here are all the coffees that we have. They're just sitting here.
We're talking about Back to the Future, by the way. If you haven't keyed in on that,
I'm pretty sure I said that right. No,
I don't think so. I mean, I caught on to it, but
Marty. This is
I think we should call them softies, by the way.
No, that is even worse than pop.
I like how you finally stuck it in there.
The language.
And it was the worst thing.
I know.
You don't really. Come on, you don't really.
No, I don't. It's stupid.
A fizzy.
Give me a fizzy. Give me a fizz.
Give me a fizz. Give me the bubblies.
The bubblies. The bubblies just is champagne though, so that's what you've been taking.
I'm gonna look up this. I'm gonna look up this quiz map here. Yeah, here it is. I found it. But in the meantime,
should we take that after we do?
I feel like in a little bit here we'll come back to this. Quiz and see what you guys think. Where you guys see where you guys live. Where are you guys from?
Quizzes are kind of games.
They certainly are. Speaking of which, games.
Yeah.
Video games. Have you guys heard of this game called Stardew Valley?
Nope. I think I've vaguely heard about it a few times.
Let me tell you a little something. I sat down today at 10:30 and I was like, all right, I gotta do laundry today. I gotta book train tickets for a trip I'm going on. I'm gonna play a little bit of Stardew Valley and then I'll go get some lunch and then I'll do some of that stuff that I need to do.
How many of that stuff did you get done?
And then I looked at the clock and it's like, oh, it's 5:20. I gotta go to Ethan's house to go do the podcast.
Yep, that sounds like Stardew Valley.
So I finished all of spring, and now I'm in summer.
And now you won't be able to ride the train when you take your trip.
I have a maple tree that's giving me maple syrup, and I got a beehive, and I got 3. What are they called? Smelters to make metal.
Smelters,
or
that's what they're called.
No, that's what they're called. But I feel like that's really weird and out of place.
Yeah,
and
there's
a
whole one thing I will say that's weird about Stardew Valley. Not necessarily bad, but there is like this whole section like combat area where you go into the caves and you like mine.
Yeah, there's a whole mining element with also monsters. There's also monsters.
I don't know. It feels weird.
It feels.
It's okay, but it's like.
It's like Terraria. It's like they took Minecraft and Animal Crossing and Terraria and they took parts of those things and mixed them all together, and they're all in their own little set. Like, because you go into this mine area, like there's a mine in Harvest Moon, but it's just really boring. The mine in Harvest Moon is just dig until you find the hole. It takes you down to the next level, and the further you go, the more rare the minerals that you'll find are. But like, there's nothing. You're just digging and hoping that you find the hole. Or some good minerals.
That's kind of what happens in this though as well. Except you got monsters to deal with.
Except you got monsters to deal with, and then you got like there's just more things to find. You can find like some artifacts, lots of like the only thing that you can find in Harvest Moon is like a crystal. And it's like a gold crystal. And then like this is
gold
there's like a bunch of different times of elements.
I don't know, I just feel like it forces you to go down that like combat.
And definitely, like, the game really pushes you, and you can make a lot of money doing that too. Which I do agree that I feel like I wish there was a little bit more openness and
like you don't have to do that. Like I just want to farm. And
you could just sit and farm. It just means that you're going to be a lot slower.
You couldn't make sprinklers. What's the point if you can't make sprinklers?
Yeah. Also, I made a sprinkler. I'm like, it waters the 4 squares around.
Dude, you made
the
first sprinkler. That sprinkler sucks.
I know, and I'm like, well, this is garbage.
It's a trash
I actually
sprinkler.
ended up resetting that day anyway because the game actually crashed on me. So I ended up never making that sprinkler. So I was like, well, I'm not going to do that again because
wait till the next sprinkler.
Yeah, I know. I ended up looking up online.
What does a sprinkler look like?
It just looks like a sprinkler, but the thing is that so the game has, it's a tile-based game, right? Yeah. And when it waters the 4, so the reason that I looked up and found out there's a second sprinkler is because it says it waters the 4 squares around it, but in a tile-based game there are 8 squares around a single tile. So I was like, 4 squares? Which 4? Like, is it just on one side? Is it like the 4 like like cardinal directions, and
that's really weird.
I had to look it up just to find out if I was going to position my plants correctly to do this, and it was like, oh yeah, it's the 4 cardinal directions.
What a stupid sprinkler.
But there is a sprinkler.
Exactly.
And that's when I found out there's a sprinkler that you get that's like a higher tier sprinkler, and that one lets you do the 8 squares surrounding me.
And that's the one I have, and it's super useful.
Yeah, and that one, and that's the one that I'm gonna save up for. In the meantime, I got myself a beehive, which I got by pouring maple syrup into a box, and I get some wood, some stone, some wood. Maple syrup and like some stone and some metal, and it's like, that's a beehive now.
I was gonna say, is that how you make a beehive? Because
so.
You guys were when I walked in today, you guys were looking up weird municipal things regarding.
We're looking at the laws of beehives in California.
California beekeeping or ocbeekeeping.com or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we were on.
But yeah, we were talking about how, like, why would you, because I questioned him, like, why do you need maple syrup to get bees? And then I looked up, like, how would beehives work? And I looked up beehives, and you need to feed the bees because you're obviously taking their food.
You're taking their honey, so they're
you
not getting that.
You need to feed them other things. So you give them sugar water usually. So I guess since there's no real sugar you can get in the game.
There is sugar, but there's not. It's like a cooking. It's a
cooking ingredient. You're not going to buy that. So they're like, all right, here's maple syrup. So I mean, that kind of works because it's like, I guess bees would probably eat that. Maybe, I don't know. It's sugar thing.
Yeah, it's just a way to attract the bees to.
And then we started in that city. Saw this cool beehive that.
Oh, I have a recycling machine now too.
Oh yeah. I have that.
So when all my like,
actually, I don't know what it does still.
Oh, you don't? Oh, so
I put my stuff in, and then I think I left, and then come back and look at it.
So you get like if you're fishing, you can pull up like stuff that just says garbage, or you can get broken CD or broken glasses or driftwood, or cola, and anything like that's not like the actual fish. Obviously, you can put that into the recycling machine, and it comes out with actually really good stuff.
Oh, does it? Okay. See, I haven't actually seen the result. I threw stuff in there. And was
you get refined quartz, hardwood.
Nice.
One of them gives you torches, which is not that great. One of them gives you iron ore, which is pretty valuable, especially if you're not. Probably not for you, but for me, I've gotten to the part in the mines where I can get iron ore, but it's not common enough to where it's like convenient.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of monsters in there that are starting to kick my butt. So I finally died in the mines.
That
Luckily,
sucks.
did not lose that much.
Yeah,
I lost
it's
300.
scary.
I lost 300 gold and some ore, a bunch of ore that I'd been.
And you
collecting.
lose levels and how far you've gone.
Yeah, that was the most annoying part. Was like I was down to level 45, and then I went back into the mine later, and I was at 35, and it was like, oh, you just took away all the levels that I made. That's really lame.
Yeah, I'm in winter in that game. I've just entered winter, and it's like, wow, what do you do in winter? I guess I'll just milk my cows forever because nothing grows.
Yeah.
So it's different in winter. So I guess I'm just gonna go to the mines.
In Harvest Moon too. I did a lot of mining in Harvest Moon.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do some fishing. See if I can catch some good fish.
So I put a bunch of lobster pots down, and they tend to just give me garbage. They don't tend to give me
any
like
loss.
and it's up with the recycling machine. It's great because I'm getting some really good resources out of that. So.
Can you put not garbage in the recycling?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It says specifically garbage.
Garbage. And then I have a
I make cheese now.
A charcoal thing where I can.
Charcoal thing?
I can put wood in it and it turns into coal.
I almost built that, but then I got so much coal it didn't matter after a while. Because you find them after a while, you eventually find enough that I'm like,
I wouldn't have built it because it costs a gold, but I got it for doing one of the
oh really?
Doing one of the things in the community center.
So you make cheese?
I make cheese. I make goat cheese. I make normal cheese from cows.
That's the normal
They can
cheese.
only make one kind of cheese.
So I just got goats pretty recently and been using those, and now I'm gonna probably upgrade my barn
the
again.
The cows have been given American singles, and he's just like, yeah, this is the cheese. And I'm like, don't tell him this
Doesn't know anything.
We're not giving him the real cheese. They're like prepackaged too. Like you're like, wow, the cows wrap these up for me real nice.
It melts so well.
Another thing that's weird about the game is when you build a fence to keep your cows in, because they will eat the hay that you harvest, or you will
no, get away from them.
If you put them a fence in though, and you let grass grow, they'll eat the grass instead, so you don't have to keep bothering with the hay and putting it out.
I like it better outside than if you keep them inside the whole time. I don't like it. I'm not as happy.
So you get this pretty big fence, but the fence breaks super quick if you just build with wood. So you have to use hardwood, and that's kind of a pain in the butt to come across.
Or
stone, but hardwood is still the best. Like it's the top tier one apparently, which is weird.
The stone ones can break too.
Yeah, that apparently takes a while though, but
you can have an all indoor, no sunlight operation of
you could.
cows.
But they won't be. The milk won't be as. You won't get
as much milk or as good of milk.
And you can't sell you can sell the cows later on after they mature and become like super good. Then you can sell them for a lot of money also because they can get pregnant, I believe. I'm not sure how that happens, but
Prego cows.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know how that happens?
I don't. Well, it says allow. Okay. Well, here's the thing: is they're all girl cows. So I'm like, how does it says allow?
You can't buy a bull?
No. It just says buy cow.
Well, no, I think, but if you upgraded your barn all the way,
almost,
because like there are some animals that's like you need the max, you need like the super barn to get this one or
yeah, but that's just like different types of animals. There's one more I think. I get sheep next. I can get sheep soon, but and once I upgrade the barn, but I don't know how to get female cows because the lady won't, or male cows because I don't.
These male cows have been like, providing a lot of milk. It's weird.
That's not milk.
That's not milk.
I've been selling it in town. Everyone's loving it.
I give it to the lady I want to marry, and
it's great.
She says it's great.
Who's your lady? Which one was the lady you met?
I only have been doing Abigail because she's the one that's like always out and I see her, so I'm like, oh, here's some food.
Efficiency.
Ethan's
you're out here, so I guess you.
I've been trying so hard to not turn into the next guy.
If
but
you've been listening to this podcast, you're like, Ethan sounds like a nice guy. You know, you're a lady, and you're like, I'd like to get to know Ethan. Ethan's like, hey, you're passing by my house. I will.
Here's some cheese. I got this American Craft Singles.
Here, take this. Oh wait, no, it's too valuable. Take this other thing that I don't really want.
This one has a gold star on it. You can't have it. I heard you just keep this. This is the okay one.
Yeah. Did you know if they like react like better? They get like more if you give them a gold star one or something like that.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how to make people like me. I have 0 stars on everyone, and then sometimes I have
the game right.
No, everywhere.
No, I mean I think that. The game's pretty simplistic in its relationship. It's just give them gifts when you can, and then
give them 2 gifts a week.
Give them 2 gifts a week. As long as it's a gift that they like, then you'll be fine. You can give her. The weird thing about Abigail is that's the one that I've been giving gifts to as well. Then after a while, she invites you into her room and you play video games with her. Cool. She's the gamer girl.
Oh.
But then the weird thing about her is that you give her like, for instance, she likes amethyst or quartz, like she likes like these crystals, and she's like, "How did you know I was hungry? Thanks." And I'm like, "Wait, what?"
She eats it.
I just gave you some quartz.
She's being funny, Matt.
Oh,
she's making a joke.
She says that when I give her food too.
Like when I give her, she's making a joke. She says the same thing. You don't get her like I do, man.
I gave her some daffodils, and she's like, "How'd you know I was hungry? Thanks." And I'm like,
"You can eat daffodils."
I know you can, but usually when you give a girl flowers, she's not like, oh.
But imagine if she did.
She's a keeper.
That's the girl for me.
As long as she's walking by when I'm walking by.
Yes, as long as I don't have to
work too hard.
To upend my entire day.
I really got to go to the crab pots in the ocean. I got to get my crabs.
Don't give a girl crabs for a gift in Stardew Valley. It's not a good gift.
I don't know how to get people to like me.
I keep giving her crabs and she gets mad.
But yeah, we have fun here on this podcast, but seriously, please everyone, get checked for any STIs.
Anyway, you're liking this game.
Protection.
Also, you're liking this game. Both of you guys are liking this game. It seems cool. I wish I could play it.
You could. Your computer would totally run it. No. All right.
Well, I don't see why they wouldn't port it eventually at some point.
It has controller support. Yeah, I would imagine with how successful it's been,
probably do
Microsoft or Sony has come up to this guy and said, "Hey, you want one
guy?
Hey, here's some cheese.
You want to port this over to our console? I mean, as long as you're passing by in my direction already, at least."
I got a cave of mushrooms too. Did you get that yet?
A cave of mushrooms?
Well, there's like a cave in your farm, and this guy's like, "Hey, can I like grow mushrooms in your cave? You can have all of them, but I just want to like see how they grow."
Okay,
it's random. It was weird.
Is he like does he like study fungus?
Yeah, he's like a scientist.
Oh, is he the scientist guy?
Yeah, he's a scientist guy.
Yeah, he's not going over and done that. But
yeah, okay.
Do you have to like a certain level of relationship with him or something? Or?
Nope, I don't know. I don't talk to anyone. I go to the mine, I fish.
Do you go to the festivals and stuff?
I go to the festivals,
and
I'm like, hey,
the festivals like, no, I gotta work.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's fun. It would be funny to see the other characters' like perspective of Ethan's character. He's just that weird, quiet guy that just never leaves the farm. Just doesn't.
He's filthy rich though.
If he's going from if he's leaving the farm, he's literally sprinting across town
to exactly where he needs to go.
That's the next thing I'm doing is working on getting a horse, so that way I can go faster. I don't have to worry about.
To hear it was funny on the most recent Giant Bombcast to hear Dan Reichert's story of how he is like every morning I get on my horse and I ride into town and give everyone omelets to make everyone like me. that's his morning routine.
Sounds like trash.
It's just like this idea of like you live in this small village and this man gallops in on a horse and just like omelets for everyone.
There's Dan again.
Do you think Dan will bring the omelets today?
He already gave us 2 omelets this week, honey. He's not gonna come back again. He can only do 2 a week.
Are you saying we're not worth 3 omelets?
I already ate breakfast, Dan.
No, an omelet.
An omelet for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just rich. Just don't let anyone likes me.
I'm not quite rich yet. Summer came along and I'm like, ooh, new things I can grow. Buy all of these. Oh, I'm out of money now. That was probably not.
That's a smart idea though. All right. Stardew Valley is great. I won't stop talking about it.
Why?
Because I'm sure it'll come up next week. Because this game is so much in it.
This game is game of the year.
Man.
The value.
Think of the value.
All right. So other than Stardew Valley, which I didn't expect to talk that much about, that was supposed to be kind of a joke of just like, hey, we played this game 3 weeks in a row.
No, I'm glad. Unlike you guys, I like hearing about games even if I'm not playing them.
What are you talking about?
Every time I talked about Monster Hunter, you guys were like, don't hear about it.
No,
but I got the big spin. I can cook a bunch of meat.
We gave you a solid month of letting you talk about that for a whole month before we gave you that. Yeah, let's go back and check the tapes.
Check the tapes. There's no record of it.
Well, we're going to get there. At the month mark, I'm going to say no more of this Stardew Valley.
It's hitting that point. Ethan, anything else?
Street Fighter.
All right. Ricardo. You've been playing a lot of new games.
I got into bronze. Okay, that's
it. You got into bronze.
I'm doing better.
You're still playing Dawson?
Yep.
Are you going to still be playing Dawson?
Why would I not? I tried playing someone else. I'm like, this is dumb.
No, Dawson's a great character. It's just he's really hard to play.
He's only hard when I go against Ryus because Ryus are terrible and I hate them. And there's always Ryus.
There's always Kens.
I beat up a bunch of Kens.
I know, but they're always there.
They're always there.
Every other person is a Ken.
Every other person is a Ryu.
Don't be a Ken, folks.
Don't be a Ken. Don't be a Ryu.
If you or someone that you know is a Ken, smack him.
Smack him, and then he'll immediately mash out a Shoryuken right after that because that's all they do.
Yep. Then they'll do the spinny kick thing, and then they'll throw you up in the air and.
Alrighty, so let's go through. I want you to list off just for one all the games that you've been playing because there's 5.
Okay, Street Fighter 5.
Yes.
Hyrule Warriors.
We talked about those 2 already.
Yes. Street Fighter 5, Hyrule Warriors.
That's a weird game.
I mean, what? I mean, I've only played 2 new games.
Okay, 2 new games. So there's 4 games total that you've been playing this week.
So I've been fighting a lot. So first I fight Mans on the UFC 2. EA Sports UFC.
Is that a Evo?
2. It's not.
Throw it in the trash. It's
surprisingly,
not a real game.
it's not
competitive level.
That game is interesting. It's
got Bruce Lee.
It does have Bruce Lee.
CM Punk.
It has CM Punk. It's got Mike Tyson.
It's gonna have Joe Rogan in it soon.
Yep. I don't know. It's a weird EA Sports thing that they do where it's like, this is the sport, like this is the way the sport is, but then they always kind of adhere really closely to certain sim elements of it, and then other stuff is just really cartoony, arcadey BS.
That's kind of what you have to. It's hard to balance fun and sim, you know, because they're trying to appeal to a broad audience.
Goat Simulator did it perfectly.
Yeah, totally. Trying to appeal to a broad audience like that is always tough because you can't make it too realistic or it puts people away.
Yeah.
But you can't make it too arcadey. You have to find a weird balance.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely this I think the subset of people who really care about, it's like the similar. I'm gonna just use Madden as an example. Who really care about Madden games, and people who really like simulation games. There's a very small margin of crossover.
Yeah.
But the people who care about Madden games care a lot about football.
Mm-hmm.
So making that as close to football, or like have those really sometimes silly details in them, even if the gameplay doesn't match up with that, it's kind of like there to just be like, remember like this player or this coach or this like, you know, like this minute rule that we have in this game, like we're gonna bring that up.
And just like that game Sports Ball, where they really captured like how you the peacocks.
Birds will fly and hearts will soar. It happens every time, and it will happen every time.
Exactly, just like you remember Sports Ball since you were growing up playing.
So I actually really got into the THQ UFC Undisputed, the first one that came out.
What was that for? Was that
that's for PS2?
Okay.
No, not PS2. That was for Xbox 360. What am I saying?
That's different console, different company.
Xbox 360. And also for PS3. Jesus, man, we're too far in. We need to start over with the naming of these consoles, because now I'm having trouble remembering which generation is which.
Just wait till there's more.
So EA got the license to UFC, and apparently last year's game was garbage, but this year's is actually pretty good. They have like kind of your basic sports game modes, where like one is a career mode where you create a character. You start off as a contestant on the Ultimate Fighter and play through that, and then you get into the league of whatever.
No Spike Lee though, right?
A league of your own?
No, there's like no real actual story. It's all just like static messages from like your coach being like, "That was a great fight you had.
Join the Nintendo Fun Club today."
Exactly. I wish
Doc was in it.
Doc was my coach, but sadly he is not. There are a lot of fighters, but it's a really odd game to take online, because unlike a game like Street Fighter, where there are tier lists, but everybody's like essentially created to be viable to win, like there are characters in this game that are just ranked lower and have lower skills.
Just going to be straight garbage.
Like for example, CM Punk is like the lowest rated guy in the game. He's like overall 82. Like you don't want to play as anyone who's like lower than an 88, like overall.
Oh, just like in Madden, how like you know.
Yeah, teams and players.
Like a team that sucks in real life, like the Bills, is bad in Madden as well. So it's
exactly.
Like, you never want to play as the Bills.
Exactly. Which is kind of which means that there's like, again, you're playing against a very small field of people online, because they're all going to be using the top guys. But online's fun. The way it works is that you actually progress based on your win streak, from like prospect fight to another prospect fight to a contender fight, where you actually fight against someone else who has a belt, and if you beat him, then you have the belt, and now you're going up against everybody who is like in that contender fight like level. And if you lose, you go all the way back down and have to like
what if
build
you just quit? Like what if you're like, I'm done now? Like, do you lose your belt then?
No. Okay, if you stop playing, you'll still have it until
keep your streak.
Until
I didn't know if you by streak you meant like in one setting or
no.
Or
it's as long as you don't lose.
All right.
So that's interesting. Like there's also weird things where like you'll get more points towards your division if you play as certain fighters, or play with like all the weight classes on, because you can choose like, I only want to play heavyweight. I only want to play a heavyweight fight, and you know, and then you'll get matched up against somebody else who has a heavyweight fight. But you can also just say
Ben Stiller will be there.
What's up?
Ben Stiller will be there.
Come here, you devil CM Punk. Come here, you devil dog. The only thing with online is that the connections are kind of bad. Like there's some considerable lag in a lot of the matches going on.
Was it last year's UFC game where they were going to have live commentators on the online games?
Yeah, they were going to have some weird streaming thing.
I was just thinking about that, because they were like trying to push the competitive aspect of the game last year.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that, or if
they never actually launched
that.
I don't think,
or if that even went back to when EA Sports didn't even have the UFC license. They made that MMA game. It was like EA Sports MMA.
Yeah, I don't know which one it was.
I think
Ethan's right. One of them was.
One of them was like the top like leaders of the league are gonna go on in a live performance.
But they were gonna have it like be like not even just like a live performance of just like this weird like as it's happening, we're gonna have like a channel that's gonna be just like doing commentary for like the top games. Like
that would have been kind of cool, but I don't know. It seemed kind of unsustainable.
Like that would work. You know what? That would work really well on in a game like Rocket League, where there's just a lot of games happening at once, and you could just like it would like be able to tell like which teams are winning a lot, and just have like the channel switch into them, and like have some sort of onboard commentator who's just doing that, or some like a Street Fighter, because it's got streaming stuff built into it. You could easily have that game do that kind of thing.
I don't think it's streaming there, is there?
Not streaming, but they're recording.
Yeah, it's like replays or something. Live, yeah.
Remember one? Do you guys remember 1 vs. 100?
Yeah, I played that so much.
I played it so much.
I don't remember this at all. No.
So there was a TV show 1 vs. 100. You remember that?
No.
Okay, well, it was basically.
Was it
was like it was a quiz show. So it would be one person would stand up to 100 other people that were randomly polled,
like for something they believe in. Like they're like, I refuse to back down.
Yep, exactly.
No, so it'd be one person that the host would talk to. Who was the host again? I can't remember.
I want to say it was Bob Saget.
I think it was Bob Saget. Yeah. So they would have a host, and there would be just a wall of people. And so the person would just ask
literally
their bodies.
It would be 100. It'd be 100 people.
Literally 100 people.
And they would all
on this wall.
So the one person would go and ask a question or answer a question, and then depending on how many of the 100 got knocked out, they would earn more points. So because all the 100 people that got wrong, because they would get eliminated.
Yes, some people would just be wrong and they lose.
If the person loses, their money would then go to the mob, which is what the 100 people were.
So basically,
but if
what
one
you
person
want,
won,
so what you
they
want,
would take the money from them.
If you're in the 100 group people, you want everyone else to drop out except for you, and then you want to beat the guy, and then you get all the money.
Yes.
But if like some of you dropped out, then they'd split it by whoever's left.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It was a pretty interesting little game show
concept. Yeah.
But they had an Xbox Live version where you could play with all your avatars,
and it was literally live.
It was live.
Yeah.
And you would play it. There would be like games you can get into. And I can't remember. And they would have like the questions and everything.
Yeah, and then
there
would be like a live person playing, and then there was a live host too who would like come in during the breaks. I think his name was Chris, and he had his own like avatar.
Yeah,
and the guy was actually pretty funny. Like that was the most sad part when they finally shut it down. It's like, what happened to Chris? Like, what is he doing now?
Oh, it was live as in like the game show it wasn't like generated by the game. It was like
no, this one was generated by the game.
Yeah, it was generated by the game, but it was like taking part like. It was
There's a guy
live.
hosting it, you're saying?
Yes.
There's actually a host.
Yes.
Like,
sometimes.
Okay.
Was there always a host?
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't be doing it 24/7, right? I mean,
but like in this one, like there was the mob, the 100, there was the guy, and then like everybody else like played to get a higher score so that they could get placed in the mob in the next round or whatever.
Yeah, that was it.
So what's the advantage to being the one?
Oh, you get some like lifelines and stuff like that.
Okay,
too,
so there's a couple things that you have as bonus.
Yeah,
as
you
bonuses.
can like
one of them was like
otherwise
pull
you
the
have
mob.
a bit of a disadvantage there.
One of them was like pull the mob and see what they voted and stuff like that.
Interesting.
Interesting things like that.
And I can't remember. I think the prizes there were like Xbox Live time or like.
Oh really?
Points,
wow! So they actually had
points towards arcade, like points towards arcades.
I don't remember. This
it was a cool idea, but it's just it lasted only a little bit.
I mean, there's a lot of like there was some really cool stuff on the early Xbox. Like, remember being able to sync Netflix together? You guys remember that?
Well, I remember.
Oh yeah, I do remember.
Yeah, you could get in a party and then you could watch Netflix with your friends, and you'd have like a little screen. You could like do emotes and stuff, and it would sync it up together. And they got rid of that, which was really pissed me off because me and my friends would watch it all the time.
I remember that the Wii was the first console to do Netflix. Did you guys know that?
Yeah,
you get the disc from Netflix in the mail, and you have to put it into the Wii and install the Netflix app off of the disc.
Yep.
So no, it didn't even install it. Like you'd actually have to keep the disc.
You had to have the disc in, because it's like it was like a game. Eventually, they just added it to the store or whatever, and then you're fine. But that was
like the first way to do it. Yeah. Speaking of which, you can actually. I found a Chrome extension where you could sync that up and have like a chat room. It's pretty cool.
That's cool
on Netflix. Anyway, what were we talking about?
We're talking about
UFC. Okay.
So yeah, but they actually do.
Bees.
They do a
beekeeping.
They do like a similar thing, not a similar thing, but they do pull in like current UFC stuff. For example, like there was a UFC fight night the other night, and leading up to it in the game, you could actually fight all the different fights in that show, and you would choose the winner, choose like the way that it was gonna like choose the way that it was going to end, and then you would play it in the game. And if in reality that's how that match ended, like you would get like more points and stuff.
That's interesting.
So it was an interesting concept.
So I always find it just interesting how they take, because real world stuff, sports, and then like translate it to like, oh, you're also gamifying this in an interesting way.
There's some other stuff. I think that the base mechanics are solid. Like, obviously the UFC games kind of get a little bit complicated because not only is it essentially you're playing essentially a boxing game because you're standing up, but then you also have to incorporate transitions and submissions on the ground, and then there's like a clinch game, and just there's a lot of room for that to get messy or not fun, but it manages to keep it all feel pretty cool. Like online, you'll just see a lot of people just basically swinging for the fences with like the best attack that they possibly can, and a lot of times it works because in the game you can just get a flash knockout if you hit someone the right way. Like
that's why it's not an Evo.
Yeah, exactly. But speaking of Evo and speaking of games,
speaking of evolving,
yes.
Speaking of
real life sports,
speaking of monsters like Monster Hunter from earlier,
yes.
Speaking of,
I got to level 45 in the mines.
Level 45,
it's now the ice caverns, and the monsters are really tough. They are. Yeah, anyway, what were you gonna say?
I have been playing the one true fighting game. Besides Dive Kick, the two true fighting game.
Too true for me.
Yeah,
I can't handle it.
Pokkén Tournament. It finally came out for the Wii U.
Did you win the tournament yet?
You mean Naruto Ultimate Pokemon Storm?
Nah, it plays a lot more like Dissidia Final Fantasy, but like Pokkén Tournament, for those of you who don't know, is a Pokemon fighting game for the Wii U. It's developed by Namco Bandai.
And we all thought it was going to be Tekken.
Yes.
It wasn't. It's not really.
But the way...
it's called Pokkén, and it has the same font as Tekken.
Yeah. It's not Pokkén.
It's Pokkén, like
it's
Tekken.
Like Pokkén.
Tekken.
So some people have been pronouncing it
Pocket. Oh, shoot, Amiibo card included.
Yep. Some people have been saying Pokkén, apparently. I don't know why you would say
really
that, because
weird.
that's definitely not how it's pronounced. It's Pokkén.
Pokkén. I mean, is the O long?
I mean,
well, if it's like Pokemon,
but there's an E there normally. But there's two K's now.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, but that.
So maybe it is Pokkén.
But in the Japanese style, that would be pronounced Pokkén.
Pokkén. Okay, well, we'll go with that then. Anyway.
Yeah, but I think that's probably why people have been saying Pokkén.
Pokkén.
Like pocket.
Pocket.
But it's
that sounds dumb.
It's Pokemon.
I know, it's Pokemon. It's Pokeball. It's
Pokkén.
Poke Center. It's Pokkén. God damn it. Anyway, so
this debate will rage.
So in Pokkén Tournament, you play as a trainer in the Ferrum League, which is a league of Pokemon that they specialize in these intense one-on-one battles where you synergize with your Pokemon. No, but you're synergizing with your Pokemon, and like I don't know. The actual like justification as to how this is different is
There's a girl shouting at you over the radio every 5 seconds.
Her name is Naya. She's your battle advisor, and does she ever love to advise?
Well, it's a Nintendo game.
Yes.
Well, it's a Namco game, actually, to be fair.
I don't say Namco on here at all. Where is that? Where does it say Namco? I'm looking at the case. We're looking at the case, by the way.
It says the Pokemon Company.
Yeah, it says the Pokemon Company.
Well, this is definitely a Namco.
It's made by them,
was Smash Brothers Namco?
Yes, it was technically.
But I don't remember seeing that anywhere.
Yeah, they might have just
rolled them in. They're like, you're just part of us now.
Yeah. Well, in terms of like, they might have just been like, you're making this, but we're gonna pay you enough to where you're not gonna put your name on this at all.
Maybe.
But anyway, the fighting style in Pokkén is actually really interesting. It's kind of complex, actually.
Because we went over.
It was really cool to watch, but neither of us really understood.
Yeah, we watched it for a little bit.
It's in the copyright.
Oh yeah,
but other than that, there's no logo.
Yeah, the thing is like when you actually run through the tutorials in Pokkén, which by the way, there is an awesome tutorial in Pokkén. It literally teaches. There's like a basic tutorial, and then there's like an advanced tutorial, and then there's 2 other tutorials that go on to actually talk about like theory in like fight, like almost like theory in fighting games, but like in a very Nintendo sense of like if someone's pressuring you with someone's pressuring you with fireballs and you can't get a move off,
that's no good.
You should try jumping over. Otherwise, block, move forward slightly, then block, then move forward slightly. Sometimes if they get close, they might try to jump in on you. Use your anti-air attack.
Whoa.
Like it does.
Dang.
It gets pretty in-depth in terms of like fighting game theory, which is actually really, really nice. But it's also really, really weird because this is such a weird fighting game. So Pokkén, the way it's played is it's kind of divided into these two modes. There's the field stage, and then there is the duel stage. And so everybody starts off in the field stage, and it's this kind of like a free roaming 360 sort of.
Where you're like locked onto the end.
Yeah,
like your character is like rotating, like you're
exactly.
like strafing around the other
character.
Yeah.
And from here you can launch like ranged attacks with like one button, or you can like home in on the opponent. And basically, if you hit them with certain attacks, it will trigger the next stage, which is a 2D fighting game stage, which is they call the duel stage. And the game kind of flows.
It's still a 3D fighting game, though, isn't it?
No, you can't do side steps.
Really? It looked like you could.
No.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because the modes keep shifting so frequently. I actually really like the way it looks when it does that, because it feels like. One thing I will say about this game is that it feels like how I always thought a Pokemon battle would look like if Pokemon were real and not just two guys going doop, 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 like
no animation, a bunch of water comes out.
Yeah, there's
hey, Pokemon Stadium had animation.
Yeah,
they still just stood there. The opposite ends of the
Pokemon
battlefield.
Coliseum had animation.
No, but it was really it's
Dusk Balls.
I know. I honestly thought it was really cool, like how it flows in and out of those two modes very fluidly and very frequently. Like it never gets bogged down of like, man, we've been doing this for a while. Like it's like it just moves, and then like Ethan was saying, it was hard for us to tell what was going on, but in terms of how it looks visually, like with the amount of effects on screen and just like the way it flows like between those two modes, it makes it look really really cool.
And until you actually get your hands on the game and you start playing like around with it, it can be pretty disorienting. But now I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, I'm in field stage. I'm going to use like this ranged attack to try and get in. Then I'm going to use my homing attack, jump up, hit this. That's going to trigger the duel stage. And then if I hit this combo, I'll pop back out in the field stage. Like I'm actually like starting to learn the game as I play it. And it's...
So what triggers... So like your opponent could also trigger going back into the other stage, right?
Yes, absolutely.
If they hit you with something.
Interesting.
It's really fun. It's deceptively deep. Like the combos and stuff like that aren't really too difficult to pull off. A lot of them are because there's two like main attack buttons, and there's like a special attack button, and then there's the fourth button actually jumps, because in the field stage obviously it's 360, so pressing up sends you forward. So they designated a button to jump, which is kind of hard to get used to in the 2D stage, that you actually have to press a button to jump.
Yeah, that is weird.
But
Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Well, I do that.
Yeah, and like the shield, like the way you block is a shield like in Smash Brothers, you know.
It's a little digital shield just
it's
kind
a
of appears
little
in front of you.
really?
And it can be like burst like in Smash Brothers. And like the game actually teaches you the basic the basic fighting triangle is if they're blocking with their shield, grab them. If they're going to try to grab you, like hit them with this normal attack. And if they're going to try to hit you with a normal attack, either block it, or you can actually do these things which are kind of like focus attacks in Street Fighter 4, which is counterattack, which you absorb a hit and then immediately hit them back with something else.
Well, it's like the Z reversal.
Yeah, kind of like that.
And you've got
Z reversal.
You've also got like support characters that that you don't actually play as, but that can like pop in from the side and shoot a blast out.
It's a little gauge that kind of progressively fills up. You can take two different support Pokemon into battle at like alongside you, and each round you get to choose one, and they kind of just add like an additional little attack. So for example, like if I'm playing as Machamp, which is kind of who I've been playing as right now, and I want to just like, a guy's harassing me from long range and I can't get in because that's what I want to do. I want to get in and I want to grab him. But like he's harassing me, I can summon Lapras, and Lapras lands on the stage and just does a big surf that just like locks down the opponent. Like, so even if they're blocking it, that's good because I want them to block so I can run in from behind. Now I'm close, and now I can start like doing my pressure. Like,
I'm really excited to see this at Evo. This game, like watching you play it and watching some video of it online of people who were not like professional like fighting game players. They were just like, here's this game, let's show it off. Like, and then watching you play it, I'm like, seeing this in the hands of some like people who are just like crazy good at like fighting games will be really cool to see.
How will they do that perspective? Because it does have two different perspectives.
Yeah, I don't know. So they'll just have, you just won't be able to see, I guess, one.
You'll just watch from one person's point of view.
Whoever's
I guess you can still see. Yeah.
Whoever's using the gamepad. I don't know, honestly, how, or if they have special rigs so that people can use, because they actually, Hori made an actual like controller for this game, like for just this game.
It's a gamepad though, right?
What's up?
It's a pad, right? Not a stick.
No, it's a controller.
I know. Okay, I'm saying it's like a gamepad.
Yeah, I'm dumb.
Because I saw someone actually make a. I was reading Reddit, and so I think it was like a Wii U subreddit. They were talking about some guy custom made a fight stick by cannibalizing a Wii U, like a Nyko Pro controller or something.
Okay.
Like ripped it apart and then just started making their own.
Just put the pieces in different
parts.
parts.
Did some rewiring and stuff, and then he got like his own little fight stick for Pokkén, which is interesting.
That's interesting.
Because even I don't know if you need a fight stick. There's no quarter circles or anything.
Yeah,
right?
that's the thing is that like also with the kind of free range mode, analog control is probably going to be a little bit more valuable than.
Yeah, I don't know.
In most fighting games,
it's a weird fighting game because also, like I was telling you, how
it's very Smash Brothers-y in terms of its just non-standardness.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit more a good way to get people into fighting games, kind of like
Yeah, it's not because again, there's no weird inputs, like everything's a direction and a button, Yeah, it's not like. It's really accessible, but at the same time, it's also a little bit complicated. Like it's a little.
I mean, I'll be honest, I was super confused when I was watching you play it.
But the really weird thing is that, like, it's a Pokemon game, so as you actually play with the Pokemon, which that's the one thing I'll say about this game is it actually for. It doesn't have a huge roster.
It has a really for Pokemon.
Roster.
It has a really lame roster.
It has a pretty small roster. Like
it's like
that's
15.
Them.
That's the entire roster.
Wow, the same as Street Fighter V. But Street Fighter V, at least they already announced new characters coming up.
But this is also Pokemon, the game that literally has 500.
Yeah.
And of those 15, 2 of them are Pikachu.
Yes,
that's true.
It's not an alternate costume. There is a separate Pikachu
that has a completely different move list too.
It's pretty cool. I'll grant you. It's Pikachu in a luchador mask. Yeah. That's awesome.
And his
but
super
if you've only got
like,
this many characters, you only got this many characters.
Chandelabra.
So like you'll go through the single player mode, which is you going through like the different leagues, and it'll be just so weird that like everybody in this league has Machamp. Everybody in this league has Charizard.
Well, they just figured out that those are the best fighting Pokemon.
Maybe
everyone else is not viable.
Maybe
it's just like UFC. You're not going to see CM Punk.
There's top tier Pokemon. Right. They're min maxing this Pokemon.
They want to win. They're not allowed to lose. You know?
The weird thing is that your characters actually level up as you use them, and then you can put skill points into their different stats like attack, defense, synergy.
So you play it online, like does that go online?
And then you play it online, and it goes online like that.
Okay, that's weird.
So weird.
That's weird to me.
It's really weird. The thing is I'm not actually sure how much each of these skill points
actually matter
affects the thing, but it's still weird that there's that perception that you actually get experience from playing online, and then you put the skill points into the different.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's weird, but I'm having a really fun time with it. Like today, I played it for a long time. If you're not gonna play it online, there's the actual Ferrum League mode seems pretty robust, even if it's a little bit maybe repetitive.
You gonna enter the Evo, man? You gonna enter the?
Maybe. We'll see.
Pokkén.
I was doing pretty well. I was doing pretty well online today. Actually ran into some pretty good people who had gotten some decent numbers.
I mean, that's the thing is like entering Street Fighter V. It's like this is the biggest fighting tournament, but like not many people are probably gonna enter Pokkén.
And also, and also the interesting thing about that is because it's like kind of. I mean, there's been like the Cydia, there's been like the Naruto games, which are kind of similar, but there's nothing quite like it exactly. So that you're gonna have a little bit of it. just a good starting point of like everyone's kind of on the same field, at least right now. Of course, by the time we get to Evo, there'll be someone who have been just playing that.
Yeah,
since
that's the thing
now.
is like it's gonna be such a niche game that
the people who are good at it are gonna be like really good at it.
I'm glad it's been received well though. I'm also glad this game is good. Like because when we first saw it, I was like, this seems kind of stupid. Like Tekken game.
I also thought it was gonna be like a downloadable game when I first.
Oh really?
Yeah, I didn't know it was gonna be a full box release, and it was a $60 price tag. I thought it was gonna be like this is gonna be like $20, right?
It's a full-on fighting
game.
And
between the combo teachers, the tutorials, the single player mode, and the pretty robust online mode, and there's like ton of unlocks because you customize your avatar to look the way you want to look.
You have like a dumb scarf on him.
Yeah, you have a dumb, or like have like anime stars like around their head.
Nice,
like,
that's what I want.
That's what we all want.
It's pretty, and like a bajillion different titles as well. Right now I'm a romanticist. My title says romanticist, and it's pink and it's pink and glittery, and it says romanticist on it. So
you're a lover, not a fighter. Is that what you're trying to say?
Except that
I'm a champ.
I'm gonna beat your ass.
Well, he's not. He's a trainer. He's just sending a champ out to fight for him.
Exactly.
Right, yes.
He's a coward.
Send him a champ up to win, to be the champ.
Yep.
To beat the champ, you gotta be the champ.
And then that's the thing is it comes with an amiibo card, which I think is what unlocks Shadow Mewtwo in the game. But other
like normal Mewtwo but evil or
other amiibos apparently do stuff. I'm guessing they might actually unlock different support Pokemon because I don't know how to unlock all those different support Pokemon.
I do know they do, but it doesn't matter what amiibo you put down on the pad.
Oh, okay.
It just like. You put it down, it randomly unlocks a thing, and you can do
I
like
guess
2 a day.
sense.
You can do like 2 a day,
okay,
or something like that. So you just put 2 amiibos down.
Can they be the same one over and over again?
No, I think that would have to be 1 a day at that point. I think
I'll bring over some amiibos. My 2.
You have 2 amiibos, so and I have 1, so
there we go. I'm just gonna have to break down and buy that Tom Nook amiibo.
I'm gonna have to buy some amiibos probably.
Oh yeah, because you've got a Wii U now. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
'Cause you're always like, I'll buy one when the adapter comes out, and it's like, nah.
That's never coming out.
It did come out.
Did it?
Yeah.
I didn't know the adapter came out.
Yeah, just no one bought it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Like a Ricardo, for instance.
Yeah, the guy, like myself.
The guy who was like, I'm gonna buy one. And it's like,
well, it's dumb when there's like a new DS come out, and you're like, well, you just buy that, and it's probably gonna save.
I'm gonna have to get that. So yeah, Pokkén is great, fantastic game.
Wonderful. Nice.
So how do you pronounce Pokkén? Does it matter? Depending on how you pronounce Pokkén, does it also be where you come from in the United States?
Yes, guys. It's time for the quiz.
Quiz time. Chance time.
How would you address a group of 2 or more people? I'm going to give you all the options.
Okay.
You all, yous, you lot, you guys,
You lot.
youans, yins, you, other, y'all.
I would say you guys.
See, yeah.
I feel like you guys.
I say y'all sometimes, but you guys is probably more dominant.
All right, I'm not gonna give my answer because I've already done this before. What do you call something that is across both streets from you at an intersection, diagonally across from you in general?
Yeah.
Kitty corner.
Okay.
Kidda corner. Catter corner.
Catter corner.
Catty corner. Kitty cross. Kitty Wumpus.
Kitty Wumpus.
I would use only diagonal for this. I have no term for this.
Kitty corner.
Yeah.
Kitty corner. See, that's something I had never heard until I moved here. What do you call the grass between the sidewalk and the road? The area of grass between the sidewalk and the road. Is it the berm? Is it parking? Is it tree lawn?
No.
Is it terrace? Is it curb strip? Is it beltway? Is it verge? Or do you have no word for this?
I don't have a word for that.
I don't think I have a word for that. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't.
Yeah, I've never used any of those.
Do you pronounce COT and CAUGHT the same?
Oh, like cot and cot?
Cot and cot?
So yes, we pronounce it the same.
Yeah, I know, but I couldn't. If I said it out loud,
I say cot and cotch.
Cotton.
What do you call the large wildcat native to the Americas? Is it a mountain lion, a cougar, a puma, a mountain cat, a panther, a catamount, a mountain screamer, or a painter?
I've heard painter before. I use mountain lion
cougar and puma like interchangeably because they are interchangeable. But
I feel like mountain lion's the one we hear the most.
Mountain lion's the one I use.
Say mountain lion.
What do you call the night before Halloween? Gate night, trick night, mischief night, cabbage night, goosey night, devil's night, devil's eve, or I have no word for this.
Mischief night is the day.
I don't have a word.
See, I never had a word for this. We'll go with Ricardo's mischief night. What do you call it when it rain? What do you call it when rain falls while the sun is shining?
Weird.
Yeah. Sun shower. The wolf is giving birth.
What?
The devil is beating his wife.
What the fuck is this?
Monkey's wedding. Fox's wedding. Pineapple rain. Liquid Sun, and these are all my band names.
These are all my strains of weed. Pineapple Sun,
or I have no term or expression for this.
Pineapple Sun sounds delicious.
Yeah, it sounds like
I have no word.
It's pineapple rain and liquid sun.
Those both sound.
Those
delicious.
are both weed strains, man.
All right,
I have no
term or expression for this. I think
I have no word. Mike, wait. The devil is beating his wife. Was that one of them?
The devil is beating his wife.
So weird.
And then the wolf is giving birth is the other one.
Those are so.
All right, we're gonna do one more. There's a lot of questions in this, so we're gonna move ahead a little bit, and then we'll come back to this because there's a lot of questions. What do you call a drive-through liquor store?
Non-existent.
A brew-through, a party barn, a bootlegger, a beer barn, a beverage barn. We have these in my area, but we have no special term for them. Or I have never heard of such a thing, or other.
I've never heard of such.
I've heard of such a thing, but I don't know what they're called. They usually call them drive-through liquor stores, but.
Do we have them in California?
Not in California.
Yeah,
though.
so that I've never heard of such a thing as what I'm going to count that as because. All right, last one. How do you pronounce BEEN?
Ben. Ben.
Ben.
Ben.
Okay, so that would be with the vowel in sit.
Ben. Ben. I say Ben.
I say Ben.
That's
pretty much all the time.
Ben. It's been that way for a while.
Bin or Ben?
Binya, polylog.
say it again. Is it bin or Ben?
I say Ben.
I say Ben.
See, that's what I would probably say is bin.
Put in bin though. That's fine.
All right.
I sometimes say bin probably.
It's the answers are actually listed as the vowel that is in sit, the vowel that is in C, or the vowel that is in set. So you say set because it's ben,
Yeah.
Ben. We say
Grammar.
Bin. All right. That's the last one. That's the last one for now. That's the last one for now. I just read the next question. It's pretty good. And then we'll find out where you're from.
Is giving birth.
The devil is beating his wife, and she's crying liquid sun. In the meantime,
are those song lyrics?
Kitty Wampus.
Yeah, I told you.
You're real hot as Kitty Wampus.
Kitty Wampus.
How many weed strains can we find in the American Dictionary?
Seriously.
Oh, watch out for that mountain screamer.
Watch out for that mountain.
Watch out for that painter.
Oh, he's so crazy. He's painting the roof with blood.
He's a man. He's a man who just runs on the mountain screaming. Just
painting.
Anyway, it's time for the news.
Ricardo, you bought a PS4 not too long ago, didn't you?
I did.
How'd you feel that a new one might be coming out?
Fuck off.
So some developers have confirmed to Kotaku, which Patrick Klepek
then wrote a story about
that they are probably making a 1.5 PS4.
You mean a 4.5?
4.5.
Nope.
I'm actually wanting them to call it PS44 and a fourth.
Yeah, so they're making.
It's a picture of Kaz Hirai riding two PS4s. He's like, whoa! That's the box. That's the box we're gonna have it in.
I also liked that this story on Giant Bomb here just has a bunch of it has the 32X on it.
Yeah.
It also has
and the Sega CD, or no, it has the.
I think it was the Famicom disc drive?
Yeah, that might be it.
Or the Super Famicom disc drive?
That's it right there, yeah. It's funny, the other picture is a picture of phones, which is what people started wondering about when Microsoft gave that really vague thing a couple weeks ago where they're like, we'd like to make the Xbox more like a PC. We're you could upgrade it maybe, but they were really vague of they're not announcing anything or just saying that'd be cool if it was like that. Don't you think? I don't know.
Wouldn't it be cool
We just upgrade slowly.
if you guys gave us more money?
That's how it'd be more like a PC, right?
So it's interesting that around the same time, Sony is being rumored at least to doing the same thing.
Yeah, so it's interesting how they're doing like a they said they're gonna. You can go ahead and unplug that if you want.
No.
Okay. The thing is, the 4.5. That's so annoying. I gotta call it something better.
They're not gonna call it that. That is a journalist.
New PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're gonna call it.
And call it the Sony Morpheus.
No, well, see, it's funny that you mentioned that because I think that's probably at least a part of the reason.
Could be
as to why
they
are doing that.
It's basically just saying that they're gonna have better internals inside of it. So it's gonna have
still be a PS4.
It's gonna be able to
still play PS4 games.
It's gonna be able to display at 4K.
Yes, that's the rumor. Yeah.
Well, this rumor seems more substantiated than just like a rumor.
Yes. This is like coming from people who would know.
Some people would work on it and probably leak something they weren't supposed to.
Oh, yeah, but he didn't name them, so they're not going to get in trouble.
Nope.
But yes, that's the interesting thing is that that is a very similar thing to, I guess the new 3DS is the most pressing, games example, but it is similar to a phone in terms of that, like,
it's true.
It's running the same operating system, so all these games are going to work, but they're going to look a little bit nicer on this.
New 3DS is probably the closest thing to a modern, I guess a lot of Nintendo portables have done this kind of in the past, where they kind of like sort of upgraded, like the Game Boy Color.
Mm-hmm. And then the DS, not the Lite. The Lite was the same.
DSi.
The DSi was slightly
like
better.
even the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP.
Well, no, because that didn't actually give you any sort of like
graphical boost. It just had a light.
It didn't, but it had a light and was in a nicer format.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. But I was saying like as far as power goes, the
DSi and the DSi XL were actually like better console. Although by that point, not as many games are coming out taking advantage of that.
You could say the DS Lite also. Nintendo's been doing this forever.
God, I love my DSi.
DS Lite was really good.
You have a DSi?
Yeah, man.
I didn't know you had a DSi.
I don't have it anymore because I traded it in when I got the 3DS. But it was really, I loved it.
Yeah, I foolishly got rid of my DS Lite when I got the 3DS.
I still have an old, chunky old DS, the old version.
Yeah.
Chunky thing.
Yeah, I had that originally.
That thing kind of sucked. Dug into your hands all the time.
The DS Lite was
ugly.
So good.
It was just an ugly.
Really was ugly.
The DS Lite was so cool looking, and the eye was.
The eye was great. I had I had that like the like neon turquoise blue like DSi color.
See, the DSi got rid of the Game Boy Advance slot, and I liked being able to play Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, that was the one.
I didn't have a Game Boy Advance ever, so I was like, I can play all these games that my friend got rid of.
I think this PlayStation Portable did this too, where they kind of upgrade the internals and put out a different one. And a couple times, it's happening quite often.
We're obviously more used to it with portables, especially now with phones and tablets coming out every year. We're just kind of more like, whatever. I think that people are obviously nervous that this means that, like, what if I have the older one? I'm not getting as good of an experience.
Yeah.
And also, what if they like make the games for the new one and then it runs like garbage on the old one, which can happen on phones. If you have a couple-year-old phone, then you're gonna get like
I experienced that a lot. When I had the 4.
When you had an iPhone 4, yeah.
So
yeah.
See, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if consoles did move to a more like a faster update cycle, but without like obviously everything else has been like a really big jump. You had to move on to the new console if you want to play those games, but or you did. Ricardo was holding out for a while with the 360,
quite a while.
But I don't know. I mean, like I don't think it's automatically a bad thing.
Yeah, because
I definitely understand the concerns. Because
the cool thing about it is you're like, okay, I bought a new console, and you won't be like, oh man, what games do I play? Well, I can play on my old games. They look way better now. Maybe,
and you could.
Or they run better or something.
Yeah, and then you could also go with like an idea of if you are like getting like for instance the PlayStation VR theoretically could help. I mean, I know that something comes with a separate box, but theoretically could run a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be odd to see how it's accepted because it definitely could move towards that faster update cycle to go. Oh, somebody's here.
No, what are you talking about? No one's here.
A faster update cycle, like so.
No one's here at all.
Console games wouldn't necessarily lag as far behind. Until like, well, what am I trying to say? It wouldn't lag as far behind, so like when the new one comes out, it's like such a leap forward, but it's already playing a weird catch up game. You know what I'm trying to say.
Well, yeah, totally. I mean, I think. Well, let me ask this. I mean, Brandon, you've been quiet for this whole podcast. I mean, yeah. I mean, it was really weird that you've just been sitting here not talking at all. What do you think about this whole thing?
Well, I mean, I don't know. You see, it's a load of garbage, is what it is.
Yeah.
You just, I can't make heads or tails of the situation.
What makes you
really
think that?
Well, I can't make heads or tails of it. I'm just like, I've been sitting here just kind of listening to the back and forth, this endless discussion. And I mean, you're making a bunch of good points. I tried. No, I got no clue what's going on.
We've been talking about the potential PlayStation 4.5 that could be.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So, I mean, it could make sense for them because you've got the VR headset on its way. You've got the VR headset on its way, and it could make a complete package and possibly give it a little extra oomph when need be. I don't know. I don't. I know very little of the details.
You do not have PlayStation 4, right?
I do not. So I would be welcome to it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't either. And I heard this news and I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yay,
I'd be welcome to it so I can get myself something.
Yeah, but Ricardo just bought one like 6 months ago.
Oh, right.
I mean, I bought one at launch, and I'm still like, okay, whatever.
You don't even like VR to begin with.
So why would you be?
It's not necessarily just for VR.
It's probably going to be like.
I doubt it. I doubt it just because, well, they announced.
Okay.
Well, they announced also the other big news with Sony is they announced pricing details for the PlayStation VR.
Yes, they did.
Which is going to be $400, but
which is not bad.
Which is a pretty good price
for the Project Morpheus headsets.
That is the headset and the
and that's it.
It's just PlayStation VR. No, it comes with a box. It comes with some headphones. Give you extra power. Yeah, that's about all I get. But they also announced the bundle, which is $500, and it gives you the Move controllers, which I think are super important. And gives you the PlayStation Eye, which gives you positional tracking.
Which is required, by the way. The Move controllers are not necessarily required because that's a per-game basis, but the PlayStation Eye camera is actually required for the thing to work. So they're actually selling a bundle that will not... They're selling a thing of this that will not actually give you the pieces that... all the pieces that
I thought that was really weird when they did that.
Because you can get the PlayStation... I mean, for instance, Ricardo already has the PlayStation Eye camera, so... Theoretically, you could already have it, and he could save some money, because he's going to be buying it day one.
Of course. He loves that VR. Get on that train.
So I guess some people who might have already bought it, wouldn't want to buy it again. But the problem that I see is that, this one's going to be the most forward-facing of all these devices, and there's going to be so many people who are, going to, hear about it and be like, oh, that sounds cool, go to the Target and pick that up, and then, get home and be like, this thing doesn't work.
Yeah, that's gonna have to be salespeople are gonna be trained to be like, do you have PlayStation VR? Camera.
No one has that.
Very
few people have that.
What I'm not hearing is a thing that comes with the headset and the controllers and no camera. So screw that. Because I can't get it. I just can't get it.
But it would be cheaper for you to
get
just this controller separately. Because the controller's like $30.
Nah.
At the moment, they're probably gonna go up in prices.
I think they have a bunch of those just sitting around.
Sure,
they
are they using the very same?
Yeah, they are the same Move controllers.
What?
Yeah, because that technology hasn't. No one's done anything newer with.
It's gotten better, but they were really ahead of their time. They were the best thing.
Yeah, they were really good. They were way better than the Wii U. Or the Wii, I mean.
They're really good, so they're just like, well, these are good enough, and they're cheap, and we can make a bunch of them. And they're not very expensive. That's the thing is, this is the cheapest. Decent VR
by far. Again, let's go with the lowest price point here and just assume you've already got your camera or something like that. $400. That's a console price for sure. But I mean, compared to the Oculus, which is $600 plus shipping, which is gonna be $80-$90 after tax and all that junk.
Yeah, comes up to about $700.
Yeah, so I mean,
and then you have to have a PC.
Then you have to have a really beefy PC to play for it. This one, you have a PS4 already. Hopefully, if you want to buy this, and then theoretically, you just buy this thing, plug it in, and you're done.
Yeah.
Just play some games.
So they actually announced what that box would do, which is interesting because it actually doesn't give you any... People were speculating, this gives you more graphics power. It's like, no, not really. All it does is it splits... it helps with the doubling the refresh rate, so you get that nice, smooth look when you're looking around. And it also helps with... they're what is it? The 2D... Not 2D mode. I don't know what it's called, but it's basically where it projects the PlayStation screen in VR. So you can play any game you want. So if you want to have a huge TV or whatever simulated, or it also does the thing where you can look at it in VR and then it'll translate it onto the TV for everyone else to watch. And look normal.
And it's just really smart because that's
super useful.
Like no one, the one thing I've always had about the VR that I've had a really big problem with is just that it's not going to be very social.
And that's the thing
it's not going to be.
That's the thing that's kind of drawing me a little bit more towards the PlayStation VR is they've announced games that actually are using that as sort of like a gimmick. One of them is like,
like
everyone
keep talking. Nobody explodes could be
perfectly really good for them.
Well, that one doesn't really matter because the other people don't have to see the screen.
Well,
but there's
something like that though. Like
there is one that's like, I think it's like someone sees in the VR headset. They think they see a guy and they have to describe kind of what this guy looks like, and then everyone sees like a bunch of pictures of him, and then they can pick
like a mugshot
sort of thing. And then they have to choose them. It's sort of games like that. Like there's a lot of options for party games. There's another one where everyone is running away from a monster, and the monster is the person in the VR headset, and they're doing like attacks or whatever, and everyone else on the screen is running away, trying to escape.
Oh my gosh, it's the Wii U. It's the Wii U.
Seriously, it's the Wii U.
It's the Wii U. It's on your face. It's the Wii U on your face.
Mario Chase.
Oh my gosh, it's the Wii U. It's the WarioWare game where you gotta find the person in the crowd. It's the
thing is,
I just hope it's more than two really good
that's the thing.
5-player games, you know?
If the developers seem to be getting a lot more on board with this sort of thing as opposed to the Wii U, because
VR is the future.
It's different, man. It's crazy. So see how that goes. But yeah, so the thing is this is the cheapest, and from what I've read the reports, the headset is not as nice looking. The tracking isn't going to be as good because you can't do the room.
That PlayStation camera is not that great of a camera.
It's not that great, and as soon as you turn around, it's going to be obscured.
It's gonna be like, where'd you go?
It's like, where's your it might be able to track the head still, but for sure your controller's not going to be tracked. So you can't have like the room scale stuff like Vive.
No.
You can't be standing up. You just can't turn around.
You can't. That's what I mean.
You can't do like exploring a room or anything like that, which I thought was one of the coolest parts about the Vive, but it's still way cheaper. Like it's significantly cheaper, and it's a lot less room.
It's not exactly cheap, but it's in the price range of normal people at this point.
Let's say,
not enthusiasts.
Hypothetically, I was actually interested in VR. This would be the VR to get.
I mean,
probably
it would make sense for you.
It's making me the most interested because it's
the games is really the thing, because the other two don't have. Here's
the thing: is the games are going to be there. And
Sony's got
it doesn't need to have all that high fidelity and all that stuff because it does have lower resolution. You're going to get more of that screen door effect because it is a lower resolution than the other ones. But the technology is going to keep advancing so quickly, and by like the next iteration of headsets come out, or whatever, they're going to be so far advanced from what these are now that you might as well not invest a lot of money into like the highest end. It's like buying a graphics card. You know, you don't want to buy like the nicest graphics card because after like immediately it's going to get replaced. You know, you're only going to get so much bang for that buck.
I always buy a nice graphics card.
You don't buy the nicest, do you?
This last one I did not.
Oh, okay.
But the one I did before.
I did that once, and I was like, it lasted me a while, but I felt like if I bought the step down, because I'm thinking like the 980 to the 970 sort of thing, where it's like a big difference in price. It's like a $200 price difference, but it's not that much better.
The difference in quality wasn't there.
That's a good point.
So I feel like it's just get the lowest end, and then you can have the experience. You can have like the sort of different types of games. It may not be the coolest or have all the coolest games, but it'll have a decent amount, and there seems to be a lot. PlayStation is putting a lot into all
that's true to a certain extent sometimes, but I feel like in this case, it's really just a matter of the fact that Sony has a history and a really smart knowledge of how to market, and they've made consoles. They know how to. This is being sold like a console, and the thing is that that HTC and Valve and Oculus and Facebook have never released a console.
Yeah.
And they're releasing this platform, and then they're just like, there'll be games.
Well, here's the thing: is the Oculus actually announced
they just announced the lineup.
Yeah, they just announced their lineup,
but
and it's coming out in like 2 weeks. It's coming out in like 2 weeks, though.
Yeah.
Like that's such a late time to announce. Like, hey, these are the games that are shipping.
Yeah, like I mean, like Sony's doing this. This is coming out in fall, and they're announcing now. There's going to be 50 games, and here's a bunch of them right here. Here's a list of them. And
I don't even know what's going on with.
Look like.
I don't even know what's going on with the Vive.
Yeah,
like the Vive. I don't even know what's coming out in that.
Right.
Like they announced
Half-Life 3.
Half-Life 3.
Exclusive.
Dude, can you imagine if that was the whole gambit?
Imagine a world.
That they were like, and it's the launch title for the Vive is Half-Life 3.
That would be.
And then everybody's just like,
that would be amazing.
How much is it? Who cares?
Just throw money at the screen.
I think people would get very mad at that. Actually,
yeah.
It would not be this.
They would, and then
especially if it was
they would as they were
pre-ordering their Vives.
As often mad people on the internet are.
They get mad and do it
Man,
anyway.
this game sucks so much. I only played it for 20 hours this week. It sucks. It's so bad. Why don't they change it? Here's another 30 hours, and I bought the DLC for it.
This DLC sucks.
It's super true.
Season pass I bought.
I'm only going to buy the next 3
just
DLCs.
to check, just to see if they
got it better.
But yeah, it's interesting stuff going on now. And
but
Sony's got an interesting position, more so than I feel the other two competitors.
I feel like Sony's advantage here is just in their knowledge of how to launch a product.
Yeah.
Also developer relations and stuff like that too.
Yeah,
I guess Valve kind of has it.
But I bet both of those teams have been working really hard on developer relations and stuff like that. But just I feel like the smart of like this is announced. This is the same time the PS4 got announced. It's around now.
Yeah.
And then E3, you're gonna have more details, which we'll have more PlayStation VR details at the press conference. They'll be on the stage. There'll be demos available for press to play, and then there'll be a hype train going up until fall.
Right.
As opposed to just like it's out for pre-order now, and the price is $600. There's 2 games with it for free.
See ya.
And 2 weeks later, 2 weeks before it comes out, here's some games. Sony did it, so we're also releasing.
Yeah, Sony also said there's gonna be 50 games by the end of the year, which is pretty lofty
also
goal.
one of those is like
it was shoot, what was
Are any
it?
of those super hot? Because I would like play the crap.
No,
that
not
would be
yet.
really cool.
That is coming out in VR.
Hot. Hell yeah.
I don't know when it's coming out though.
One of them was like, dang it, what was the stupid? It was like an existing game.
Undertale.
It was like
Rock Band VR.
there's another Rock Band thing that's not just Rock Band VR. There's a separate Rock Band one, and there's one that's like, what am I thinking of?
Have you guys seen this Thumper game for VR?
Oh yeah, that game looks cool.
The game looks crazy. It's not just a VR game, but you can play it in VR.
Yeah.
But it looks crazy.
I'm gonna get
I'm
the
really
name-
interested in
I'm
that.
gonna get the name wrong, so I'm just gonna use Street Fighter as an example, but I know it's not Street Fighter, so someone don't need to correct me.
It's
like the Street Fighter 5 experience. It's like the thing. It's like
the
the
Battlefront
thing.
experience?
The Battlefront experience. That's what it is.
that
It's
looks
the
cool.
Battlefront experience.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just gonna be like a video, and that's like it's a game. It's like it's gonna be like
It's a title.
You can
we
look,
said 50 titles.
You can look around the
I
battlefield.
bet you're gonna fight. No, I bet you're gonna fight with a lightsaber.
Oh, you know where else we did that?
Oh.
Star Wars Connect.
Oh man,
I'm Han Solo. I'm Han Solo.
but that was bad. That was bad.
What are you talking about? That game was amazing. Pod
I'm going to
racing.
go ahead and lock in my prediction that the Vive's launch title is Half-Life 3.
Nah.
And we know how great your predictions are. Last Guardian is dead.
Yeah.
I got,
Moments before it's
even a blind squirrel, my friend. Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
Yeah, because they probably smell it.
Yeah, and I smell Half-Life 3.
You know what else they smell is bees.
Bees?
Bees.
Bees. How do you guys pronounce these words? The name that begins with the name Mary,
Mary.
Merry,
Mary.
and Marry.
Marie.
Mary.
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 So you have the name Mary, the
Merry
feeling
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and then to marry someone.
Marry me.
What do you
So
get?
to make
It's all
someone
the same.
happy.
It's all the same.
It's all the same for you? All three are pronounced the same. All three are pronounced differently. Mary and Mary are pronounced the same, but Mary is different. Mary and Mary are pronounced the same, but Mary is different. Mary and Mary are pronounced the same, but Mary is different. For me, I do pronounce
Why?
to marry someone with more of a Mary as opposed to Mary.
To Mari?
Will you marry me?
Mary.
Will you want to marry me?
Merry Christmas or Mary.
I say it all the same.
Yeah, I say it all the
All right, we're gonna say it.
Murray.
It's not, yeah, occasionally I
We're
say
gonna say
Merry.
M-U-R-R-A-Y.
I say Merry Christmas.
Merry
Mary.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
What do you call the area of grass in the middle of some streets? Is that a boulevard, a midway, a traffic island, an island, neutral ground? I have no word for this.
Probably
Center
traffic.
Or is it
Island?
median or other?
Median.
Oh, median,
It's median.
I
I know
was-
because I drove
thought-
over one.
I thought it was center divider.
No.
That's not the grass though. That's like the cinder block like.
Oh,
yeah, you don't
thanks.
want to drive over that.
This is the one that has grass. The area that has grass in the middle of some streets. Is it a boulevard, a midway, a traffic island, an island,
I don't
neutral
really
ground?
call it
You have no
a
word for this, or is it
boulevard.
a median?
It's a median. Sometimes
these two say median, so we're gonna go with majority. We're gonna do. Median. I've heard island, but island for me is always like a circle, like a small, not like a long strip in the middle of the road. And
that's a peninsula.
Sorry, is this to each their own? The comedy debate podcast.
Question.
What is that?
What do you call the rubber
failed experiment?
What do you call the rubber-soled shoes worn in gym class for athletic activities?
Shoes.
Sneakers. Shoes. Gym shoes. Sand shoes. Jumpers. Tennis shoes. Running shoes. Runners. Trainers. I have no general word for this or other.
Wait. Ask the question again.
What do you call the rubber-soled shoes worn in gym class for athletic activities?
Either trainers or sneakers.
I use gym shoes or sneakers.
He says shoes.
A jumper isn't that like the English understanding for like a long sleeve T-shirt? Because
in England.
Yeah, but we're not talking. We're talking about what you sing.
It's talking about America.
You say.
There's no correct answer. This is just what do you call it? What do you?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm sticking with my original answers. I'm gonna go trainers.
So you say trainers.
Sneakers.
You say sneakers
or gym shoes.
I say shoes.
You say shoes. So
sneakers.
Sneakers. I have no general word for this.
Sneakers wins.
Because we obviously can't agree. So there's no general word.
My gym shoes.
What do you call the sweet spread that is put on cake frosting, or do you call it frosting or icing?
On cake, it's icing.
Yeah.
The answers, by the way, are frosting. Icing.
I also use them in
and then frosting and icing are refer to different things, or both,
they do
or
refer
neither.
to different things.
They refer to different things.
Yeah.
All right, we're going with that. What do you call the thing from which you might drink water in a school? A bubbler, a water bubbler, a drinking fountain, a water fountain.
A drinking fountain.
Water fountain.
You dick.
Water fountain is what's outside the courthouse, like like outside. Like that's the shopping mall.
Water bubbler.
Water bubbler. That's after you get. That's after
after a long day at work. I want to just sip into a bubbler.
After the devil beats his wife.
I can just imagine like the little spigot, and then you. It's just like trying to.
You put your mouth. No, you put your mouth over and it just bubbles into your face.
Isn't that for when you need air in any underwater dungeon? You just go to the water bubbler.
This is a great one right here, guys. What is the distinction between dinner and supper? Supper is an evening meal. Dinner is eaten earlier. Supper is an evening meal. Dinner is the main meal. Dinner takes place in a more formal setting than supper. There is no distinction. They both have the same meaning. I don't use the word supper. I don't use the word dinner.
I don't use the word supper.
I don't use the word
supper.
Otherwise, they mean the same thing.
Don't get your supper.
I do, yeah. If I'm in jest.
This is the last one for this run. What do you call an easy high school or college class? Is it a gut, a crypt course, a crypt course, a bird, a blow off, or meat?
A blow off.
I'm gonna go with a blow off.
That's
what I would call it.
Nothing, obviously. None of us ever use this.
Other, I think, is what we're gonna call
Oh man, I'm in this crypt
blow offs. Blow offs.
Yeah, man, I got a blow off this morning.
Gotta go to my blow off.
I said one more, but now I'm gonna do one more.
I have my meat this morning.
What do you call the insect that flies around in the summer and glows in the dark? Is it a lightning bug, a firefly? I use lightning bug and firefly interchangeably. A peeny wally, or I have no words.
A firefly.
Firefly.
The fireflies.
Shut up.
Because I hate goodbyes.
All right. We'll come back to the New York Times quiz.
I'm such an insomniac.
Brandon still doesn't know what's going on. I love Brandon when he shows up and we just don't tell him anything.
We're talking about Brandon's been here the whole time. He just hasn't been paying attention.
Yeah, I've just been on my phone.
Taking a nap.
Taking on
the other news, since we're running an Allowance podcast, is very important, so I feel like we should just skip that.
Well, not very important news?
No.
All right. Then moving on to trailer trash. Brandon's favorite, where he gets to hear about what the trailers were.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right. Trailer trash.
So,
I don't remember what we watched. So, Ethan, go.
Well, the very first thing we watched was about a monkey. Oh. I'm sorry, a scientist.
It's not a monkey.
And he's big, and he's got glasses, and he makes stuff, and he's a scientist, and he was a little baby monkey, and then
flashbacks,
he grew up big, but then these people,
and he's like, call the Overwatch, and the computer's like, no, don't do it, and he's like, you're right, I shouldn't.
And then the main character from Darksiders 2 shows up, and then
with Darksiders 3 confirmed.
I'm gonna take all this information. And he's like, no, you're not. The monkey's like, no, you're not.
I'm going to have a flashback first and remember the time that I was...
Is he a monkey or is he a scientist?
So then the guy from Darksiders is like, you stupid monkey. And he goes, I'm not a monkey. And he like throws a thing at him. And like it's a thing that it was foreshadowed earlier because it like is a scientific experiment he was trying to do that it blew up. And he threw the thing and he's like, boop, and he goes like failed, and the guy's like ha ha, and he's like no, that's what it's supposed to do, and it blows up. And then he hits the guy and he disintegrates. The bad guy like disintegrates, and then he's like gotta stop the virus. And he stops the virus and he's like call the Overwatch. And he's like yes, no, I will call the Overwatch. This is a trailer for Overwatch.
Oh, dang it. I thought it was like Dawn of the Return of the Planet of the Apes. Oh, I was so excited.
Starring James Franco again.
Heck yeah, bring him back.
Then you see Darksiders 2 kind of just
he's like, I'm not really dead.
He's not really dead.
And then I said at the end of that, and the best part is you could play as both those characters on the same team in this game because the game has no lore in it, in the gameplay of it at all.
Just lore behind it.
All lore in the background, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It was
that
really,
sounds like a fun time.
Yeah, honestly, it was really
well made short film. Yeah, it was really good.
It's like 8 minutes long. It was pretty long.
Yeah.
It kind of sounds like one of those Team Fortress 2 meet.
It was exactly that.
What are you talking about?
It sounds exactly like it. Does it go on that long?
Well, Brandon hasn't heard some high quality video game rips apparently.
High quality rips yet?
Yeah, we gotta show you some really good video game music after this.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
High quality rips. Yeah, so that was a pretty cool trailer, man. That was.
Yeah,
I think they're going to keep releasing them.
I hope so. That'd be cool.
Up until the game gets released.
I keep getting. I mentioned this before, but I keep getting emails from Blizzard being like, "Hey, Overwatch, pre-order now to get access to the beta." And I'm like, "I already pre-ordered, guys." Or I'm getting worried that you guys lost my order somehow because I already bought this game. Just want to confirm that you guys knew that.
Yeah, I remember back when they the first like trailer that they did, and it was like the two kids walking in. They're all like, "Oh, look at this museum of them."
That was a little more high quality in this one.
But now that they're like outlawed, why would there be a museum to that? Like, I feel like the lore is not fitting in because like you said they were like outlawed or whatever, right?
Yeah,
but they still have respect for them. But
they're like it's like
oh yes, let's have a statue to Hitler, but you can't be a Nazi.
Actually,
Hitler's
to me,
not outlawed.
He's dead.
You're right.
Hitler's illegal. It says in the U.S. Constitution.
Jefferson, add that clause.
No more Hitlers. No Hitlers.
And as always, kill Hitler. But no. It's more like it's more like this movie. I wasn't this movie. this game. The lore seems to be exactly like The Incredibles. Oh, like heroes were great, but they also blew up a ton of stuff. So we really need to like say, hey, no more heroes, but we did appreciate what they did. Okay. So there's a museum for. Also, that museum's like empty in that thing. And the one kid, and the one kid's like, "This is lame. Why are we here?" And the one little kid's like, "No, I love the."
And then like super Australian chicks like, "Good day, mate."
I think she's
so
Australian.
Australian.
I think she's British, but she's also got to be in every freaking thing that they put up about that game because she's in this one too for no reason. She just calls at the end.
No. He calls her. He calls her.
But he calls all of them, and then he just has to land on her, and she's like, "It's been a long time since I had you."
Hey, she's gonna be in Heroes of the Storm.
That
she's
sounds
mascot.
awfully Australian.
She's the mascot. She's the mascot, man.
She's from New Zealand.
She's like,
that's
not a
Australia.
knife. This is a knife.
She teleports around.
Cool. So what else you guys watch?
So how do you guys pronounce the word?
We gotta wait till the end of the segment, man.
The word caramel.
We're almost done. No,
is it caramel or is it caramel?
It's caramel.
Caramel.
2 syllables or 3 syllables, or you use both pronunciations interchangeably.
I use both.
Or you use both pronunciations, but the two have different meanings.
No.
No, it's the same meaning. They don't have two meanings.
All right, moving on.
New York Times is being a dumb.
Okay, so
Nightcry.
Scary Japanese scary.
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 So
who made that game? I forgot.
Do you remember Silent Hill?
I remember it.
Do you remember Silent Hill 2, like on the PS2? That's how good this game looks.
That's how the graphics.
Wow. Visually.
And the Darksiders guy was back in it.
So it looks.
And the Darksiders guy was back in it. But he was like shorter, or he was crawling on his knees. It was hard to tell which one.
Here's the thing, and we should have double checked before we saw that there was a game series on the Super Nintendo and onto the PlayStation 1 called the Kingsfield series. And one of the antagonists in the Kingsfield series was this. It was a horror franchise, and one of the antagonists of this was this character name called the Scissor Man. So at the end of this trailer,
someone gets stabbed in the face.
The very polygonal PS2 looking lady like is hiding in a bathroom stall, and she's like looking under the thing, and she's like looking under and hoping that nobody's there, and then like somebody looks and she's like, oh my god, I'm scared, and then this like giant pincer comes through and just like scissors her face off.
Yeah, but but in like a not very graphic or brutal looking, like in a really,
it was only brutal because it was fast.
It's a really mechanical looking way of like she doesn't move, she like barely moves at all. It just kind of goes like chink chink, and it's like oh, she died.
It actually said that your king, what was it, Kingsfield?
Yeah,
that actually was like the precursor of Dark Souls, more so than this, supposedly.
Huh. Well, regardless, there was a character known as Scissor Man. This is called Project Scissor Nightcry.
Yeah, it says at the top, like
Scissor.
in like much smaller, like Project Scissor Nightcry.
It looks like if this came out 10 years ago, it could probably
could have been warmly received or cult classic
but
status.
It looks very rough.
It looks like Deadly Premonition kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
But like with like via Silent Hill. Yeah. Like the models, something about the models look like Silent Hill.
All right, Brandon. I gotta ask you one question though. If there were a social network where you could,
you like Snapchat,
you
like Twitter,
you
like
the
Facebook.
If there's a social network though, where you can talk to your friends, and the social network will ask you questions, and it'll be like, what if you could do one thing? What would it be? And if you're like, I want to go to space, and your friends could react and post to that.
Wow,
isn't that a one-way trip?
And then what if you got to create a little character that would be your little avatar, let's say, while you were on this social network, and then you could choose like a voice modulator for like what the sounded like when it like spoke the words out to other people, and everyone had one of those. And so when you reply to people, it was like, what if that would be a one-way trip? Like, yeah. And what if this character creator was very similar to a character creator that existed on 3 other Nintendo platforms previously?
Oh my goodness. Oh my no.
And is now a free app on your phone at the end of March.
Is it in US? Oh.
Not yet. It's in Japan.
I can't wait. That's what I'd say. I'm all on board. Let's go, Miitomo or whatever.
Yeah, you got it.
You got it, Miitomo.
So we were ready to write this off, but then we saw that you can like make your own like custom images and even use like have the Miis on your hand and like take a picture of yourself and be like, wow, like with like fancy font.
OMG.
Yeah, like
happy 20th birthday.
Yeah, and there's one of like the Mii, like it's like Mii Pose Studio, and your Mii is like going like different faces, and you can just take a picture of the Mii and be like, yeah, this is my reaction to things.
That's
funny.
And then you could transfer it to all your favorite Facebook messaging clients.
It's a new way of interchanging with your friends.
Can't wait. Honestly, I'm gonna download that day one. And
Me
if
too.
there's any in-app purchases, I'd be down.
Whoa.
wow.
Sell out already, man.
Committed.
Yeah,
So-
let's go. I need to have the best me.
You heard that.
That trailer is great, though.
A trailer for a free mobile social network. It's a trailer.
Yes.
Look it up.
I've heard. I've
interesting.
read some stuff of people using the Japan version because it's not in Japan. They're saying it's actually kind of fun, like more so than you think it would be.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really kind of goofy, but it
goofy.
looks, as Ricardo said, that looks like a
the next
thing that
Snapchat.
nobody needed.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that
Next Snapchat.
we don't need Snapchat.
Yeah,
we don't really
exactly.
need some of these things, and we still have a lot of fun with them. So
It's true.
All right.
We've snapped.
below official trailer. Below looks really cool.
There's Below still coming out
Below looks like it is a model.
of Monument Valley. It's only
And
a model.
then
Below. Oh, I'm thinking depth. I was thinking below. It's like, what is that? A sequel
There's too many
to Sharks?
sounds. There's too many games that just sound like they're each other.
No.
Yeah.
But there's not much to say about it other than it looks cool.
It still looks really cool. I'm glad it's coming along still. And then we watched PlayStation VR Worlds,
Ooh.
which looks kind of cool. I mean, it's all the tech demos that they were showing previously for the last, I guess, year. Because I remember played London Heist at Comic Con. They're kind of putting all those into one like bundled game you can just get. With that comes in the $500 bundle mentioned earlier.
A crazy luge game.
Yeah,
It looks crazy.
looks like you could just get sick
Yeah.
on that.
A
London
weird.
Heist, which they showed the parts that they also showed the parts. Didn't show much of the gameplay part of that. They showed more of the guy shouting at you.
Yeah,
I showed the parts where they were shooting the gun.
With
a little bit.
With censored bad words.
Yeah, censored bad words. That game was really neat. I like that game.
There's like a weird like space shooter game.
Yeah, I don't know what that was. I don't remember what it was called.
There's also like a weird mech game. Looked like you were in a mech.
Yeah, I think that might have been it.
Was the same game? Okay.
Yeah. Then there's one other one. Oh, it was the depths one or whatever, below depths.
Oh yeah, that actually looked neat.
That looks neat, but I don't think there's much game there. It looks like
that's the point. Is none of these are. I don't think they're all like games. I think they're supposed to be kind of like, hey, come over, check out my VR thing. Put it on your head. Here's some games to go through.
Manta rays.
I want to see a shark kill you and eat you. That's cool. Yeah, so that looks like a neat thing. I don't know. It's neat that they're doing it for free, I guess. Give you something. Those that pack-in is not as appealing as like the Oculus where it's giving you like 2 actual games. And even the Vive where it's giving you 2 full games. And,
one of which is Half-Life 3.
Yeah, one of it totally Half-Life.
Confirmed.
And the most important trailer I watched.
Yes.
Was the announcement of WWE SuperCard tokens.
SuperCard Super Tokens.
Super Tokens.
This
Buy real plastic things to play on your phone game.
This trailer featured the WWE World Tag Team Champions, the New Day.
Yeah.
And Big E was being very coy, asking Xavier Woods how each of the features of the Super Token worked.
It was actually pretty good, pretty funny.
Essentially,
it was kind of dumb.
Essentially, they're just tokens that you can purchase for SuperCard, like physical tokens that you can purchase for the phone app WWE SuperCard, and by using them, you unlock cards in the game. That's essentially what it is. But you can share the token with up to 3 of your friends too. So if you just
and at the end they were like trying to steal them.
Yeah,
and he was like, "No, I'll pay for these." But I was like, "But you just said you could share them with 3 of your friends. Why?
Yeah, but he wants to have the physical like items.
Oh, okay. The collector's items.
Why
he wants.
he?
What was the first one they showed? I can't remember what it was. What was the first character? Was it? It wasn't John Cena.
Was Seth Rollins.
Oh, Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins.
Even I know this, and I wasn't even paying attention.
Why wouldn't you want to have Seth Rollins?
Daniel Bryan. But he shouldn't. He's not doing that no more.
He should wrestle, even in card form. His cards had too many concussions.
His card's like, no, that's not.
May he relax in peace.
Yeah,
maybe just chill out.
But yeah,
just chill.
That was dumb. But I love the New Day. So
it was a fun trailer for a dumb thing. And that's all the trailers. That was all the dumb trailers we watched.
That's a lot.
What would you say is the winner, Brandon, just from listening to all this?
It depends. Now, WWE SuperCard Super Token. Now, does that just feature normal wrestlers, or does that feature their penguin form as coming up in the official WWE crossover movie? Surf's Up 2 featuring WWE Universe. This is a real thing that's happening.
What's it called?
John
again?
Cena. It's like
Surf's Up 2. What's the?
It's like Wave Mania.
Yeah, Wave Mania.
Didn't Surf's Up already have a 2, or am I just completely misremembering?
No.
I thought they did, but no.
Feet.
Oh,
Happy Feet 2.
Surf's Up 2.
Surf's Up 2. Wave Mania featuring the likeness of John Cena, the Undertaker. Isn't it is the Miz in it?
I think so. Vince McMahon
and Paige.
Oh, okay.
Can I play WDV Super Token
SuperCard Ultra
with Paige's Penguin? That's all I need to know. I'll pay that $7.
Unfortunately, I don't.
No,
think
not
they...
Paige. John Cena, of course. He's my hero.
Unfortunately, they haven't capitalized on that, or their Flintstones, or their Scooby Doo. They might.
But they might. Honestly, the day that happens as DLC, I'm on board.
I want to play as Fruity Pebbles John Cena.
No, I'm going to say that Overwatch wins, even though Below sounds pretty cool and mysterious. I'm going to say Overwatch wins because I actually watched that earlier and it was so good.
I feel that Overwatch isn't really a trailer, so I'm not sure that one should count in this list, to be honest.
Disagree.
As much as trailer trash is about.
At the end, it said pre-order the game.
Yeah,
there's a trailer.
That's a trailer. If you're trying to sell us on something,
look. To be fair,
no. None of that stuff is in the game.
Most of these trailers we watched in the past aren't in the game. Xavier Woods isn't in the game. jumping around with New Day. You can't have a New Day.
Excuse me, but Where's My Mama was 100% gameplay. That was all it was.
That's the thing, though. What you're talking about is you're talking about limiting it to just gameplay trailers. There are cinematic trailers.
I'm just saying that a short
long
film,
history of that.
an 8-minute long film, is not a trailer.
It's an 8-minute long trailer.
Below.
Okay.
I go Overwatch 100%.
I go with Miitomo.
Yeah. All right. Well, Overwatch technically
like
wins, but
thanks, Brandon. God, thank Brandon.
I think that I think that's an amazing video, and everyone should go check it out. But I don't think it's a trailer. It's cheating.
Totally a trailer.
Well, guys, there's only one thing left to do, and that thing is finish this dang quiz.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, or hell y'all.
Hell yeah.
All right. What do you call a sale of unwanted items on your porch, in your yard, etc.? Oh, what the? Well, the page refreshed and it started over again. So we're done.
By the way, what would you call that, Ethan?
A garage sale.
No,
that's actually right.
It's a yard sale.
Yard sale.
It's a garage sale. What an exciting!
And now the questions are all shuffled around, so they're not even in the same order.
Oh,
what do you call the small gray bug that curls up into a ball when it's touched?
Pill bug.
Is that
roly poly? Actually,
pill bug, doodle bug, potato bug, roly poly, bug.
Doodle bugs are scary.
Basketball bug.
Yeah, I was gonna say
twiddle bug, roll up bug, woodlouse, millipede, centipede.
What?
I know what this creature is, but I have no word for it. I have no idea what this creature is.
Boy, that sure looks like a centipede.
Actually, I think that's because technically it is a form of. I think it doesn't. Does it have 6 legs or does it have more than 6 legs?
It's got a bunch.
Yeah,
it'd be more a millipede.
It's probably a form of millipede.
Not a centipede though.
No.
Centipede
has the side legs.
Centipedes are scary. Doodle bugs are scary.
How do you pronounce the second syllable in the word pajamas? With the vowel that's in jam or with the vowel that's in palm?
Pajamas.
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 Pajamas. I say pajamas.
Pajamas.
How do you pronounce the word crayon? With 1 syllable, it rhymes with man. Or with 2 syllables, sounds like crayon.
Crayon.
With 2 syllables, where it rhymes with dawn. Or it sounds like crown.
I'll be honest, I basically just give up on the word and say crown every time, no matter how conscious.
The crown.
How do you pronounce how do you pronounce the first syllable of the word Lawyer? Does it rhyme with boy or does it rhyme with flaw?
Wait, what? Lawyer?
Yeah.
Lawyer.
Does it rhyme with boy?
Yeah, it rhymes with boy.
Loy.
What do you think? I'm supposed to call it liar?
Flyer. Yeah.
Liar.
You're one of them liars?
Liar.
My dad,
you're one of them liars.
He's a liar. Oh, certainly you don't mean a liar. Well, he goes to court and he talks to the judge. Oh, you mean a lawyer.
Okay, here's the one that we left off on. What would you call a sale of unwanted items on your porch?
A yard sale.
Garage sale.
Your options are. Listen to all your options first.
Oh, sorry.
Is it a tag sale, a yard sale, a garage sale, a rummage sale, a thrift sale, a stoop sale, a carport sale, a sidewalk sale, a jumble sale?
Just so I'm making that up.
It says jumble/jumble sale.
Okay.
So maybe the word is jumble.
Oh, I'm having a jumble.
Or a jumble sale. Is it a
you
car?
Should come over. I'm having a jumble.
Or is it a car boot or a car boot sale or a patio sale? Now I say garage sale.
I say garage sale.
I say yard sale.
But it depends on if you have a yard or not. I suppose is the real
regardless.
Garage sale. All right, I said garage. What do you call a large motor vehicle that used to carry freight? Is that a semi truck, a tractor trailer, a trailer truck, a transfer truck, a transport, a truck and trailer, a semi trailer, an 18-wheeler, a truck, a rig or a big rig, or a lorry?
A lorry? I knew a lorry down the street. Semi.
I call it a truck.
A truck is what I call that. Although I've used several of those words before.
Yeah. I mean, I've called a truck too, but
I don't know.
I feel like a truck is like, you know.
Brandon doesn't want to give his answer.
Brandon's like,
I'm gonna go with truck.
Brandon's like, you'll judge me.
I think a semi truck, but yeah, let's go.
What do you call?
Truck.
Oh wait, we already did this one. Mountain Lion. All right, what do you call a sweetened carbonated beverage? Is it soda, pop, Coke, tonic,
this one.
soft drink, lemonade. No, I did this one informally.
Oh, yeah.
Soda, pop, Coke, tonic, soft drink, lemonade, Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Fizzy drink
Cola.
or dope.
Dope. I say it's dope. This is dope.
Wait, it really say dope?
Hey,
Did it really say dope?
I know a
Take
guy
a
who
sip
can
of
get you some
this
sweet dope. It's really sweet. It's made with naturals. Now all natural ingredients.
Yo, give me some dope.
I think
It
it's a
says
soda.
dope.
Wait, it is dope. What? I thought you were making that up.
No, it says dope.
Why would he just make that up?
It's
don't know.
It's a soda. It's a soda.
Soda.
We all say soda.
I think it's a softie.
Softy. Yeah, you made it up earlier. All right. What do you call a traffic situation in which several roads meet in a circle? A rotary, a roundabout, a circle, a traffic circus, or I have no word for this.
It's a roundabout.
There's a traffic circus in the middle of the road.
It's a roundabout. There's a game about
They're
it.
all trying to get to my jumble.
How do you pronounce the word aunt?
Ant.
Ant.
I know it should be aunt, but I pronounce it ant.
I've always
And
said
New York
aunt.
Times
I
can
say
suck on it.
This is a question to get our regional dialect, not
There's no right or no
Oh,
answer.
okay.
Yeah.
I say tia.
So to make it sound like ant. Some people the other options are with the vowel in cot, with the vowel in cot, and I have the same vowel for cot, and ant
Ant.
to sound like ain't.
My aunt.
Wow, there's a lot of ones in there. This Brandon, this is one you missed. They've already heard it, but what do you call an easy high school or college class? A gut, a crypt course, a bird, a blow off, or meat.
I like blow off.
Or other. That's what Ethan said.
Yeah.
What do you
I
call
feel like if I was here for that, I would have said blow off.
What do you call a small road parallel to the highway? Is it a frontage road, a service road, an access road, a feeder road, a gateway? We have them, but I have no word for them, or I've never heard of this concept.
Access road.
What?
Of course.
I've never heard of
I've
this.
never really heard of this concept.
Access road.
All right, so these two say access, so we're going to go with access. I've never heard of that concept, really. We've already done this one.
How long is this podcast going on?
It's going to go on forever. All right, we're almost done, guys. Last 6 questions.
Last 6, okay.
What do you call the long sandwich that contains cold cuts, lettuce, and so on? Is it a sub, a grinder, a hoagie, a hero, a poor boy, a bomber, an Italian sandwich, a baguette, a sarnie, or you have no word for this?
Sarnie.
It's a poor boy.
Sub.
It's a sub.
It's a sub.
A po' boy is different. It's got shrimp and stuff in it.
It's a po' boy.
What do you call? Oh yeah, we did this one already. This is one we couldn't agree on. Where the rubber-soled shoes for gym activities. I can't remember what I put in the word. I have no general word is what I put because we all disagreed.
It's sneakers.
Gym shoes.
Shut up. No,
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry.
And oh yeah, the last 6 questions we've already done some of these, so I'm skipping some of them.
Go for it, man.
We're almost done. What do you call something that is across both streets? Oh, we did this one already. Kitty Wampus.
Kitty Wampus. That's a
What?
name for, Kitty Corner? The term Kitty
Sure.
Corner? Yeah, well, some people call it Kitty Wampus.
Why?
Oh,
Okay.
it's a good name, though. Wampus.
Wampus. It's
But-
like where the
Alright.
kitties get it wampus.
We've actually done all of the questions already because the last 3 we'd already done before. So it's loading our map here to
Where are we
show
from?
where
Where are
we're
we
from.
from?
Well, from Boston.
It looks like we're from California, you guys.
What?
The West Coast, specifically California,
West
the
Coast.
strongest.
Yeah, it says we could have came from anywhere. It's like
Or-
a heat map.
or-
Alaska.
Or parts of New Jersey, apparently.
Or Alaska.
yeah,
and Hawaii.
gotta go get your yard sale.
So West
So
Coast,
they-
Best
A leak,
Coast.
a leaky like a Louis, the candy truck with Louis.
This does just show like the most similar. It's not necessarily this is the best answers.
So we are either Californians or from New Jersey. We'll let the listener decide.
or from Hawaii, apparently. Hawaii's got a very good.
Alaska.
Okay, all right.
Alaska.
Let's get them pigeon Bibles.
So look at that. Turns out we're from California all along. And
I
that
had
with
no
that twist.
idea.
Oh, here's the news thing I forgot. Game Trailers is coming back. They posted they're going to be on Patreon. They're gonna. I can't remember the dang name that they came up with.
Easy
Hold up.
Allies, I want to say.
Yeah, it is Easy Allies. That was
Easy
it.
It's a weird name for a game site, but I mean, game sites are weird, so that's
Also,
Sounds-
I saw the whole crew of the game
thought the
trailers,
same
and
thing
I
I
was
did.
like, man, that's a lot of nerdy white dudes.
Every single person on that staff is nerdy white dude.
fine. That's a little bit of a shame.
Yeah,
How
it's
big
kind
is the
of a bummer.
staff? Like really big?
There's like 9-10 people on it.
pretty decently sized.
Decently sized.
Yeah.
You expect some.
Not as big as I thought, to be honest. I thought it'd be bigger.
There's not even like anyone token minority there, you know?
like we got.
Yeah, like we got.
Who?
Brandon.
Yeah. He's from Bolivia. Anyway.
It's true.
With that said,
Amber.
Yeah, she's our token. In that said, she doesn't listen to this podcast. It's fine. With that said, it's time for us to end this podcast. A short announcement: I will be gone next week and the week after, and maybe more. It depends. I'm going on vacation for a bit, so.
Where are you going, Matt?
These two guys. I'm going back to my homeland.
Oh, Scotland.
Hogwarts.
Oh, you're going to Australia?
Which is in Scotland.
Whoa.
And so
South Africa.
I'll be gone for a little bit, and hopefully these two will manage to not burn everything to the ground.
Oh, they will.
What we love doing.
Yep. Just like you did at E3, where Ricardo got it wrong.
What happened? What did I do?
I don't remember what he got wrong. I know you came back with corrections.
We just talked about how he got it wrong, that the Last Guardian was not going to come out.
It's not. I still haven't seen it. Does it physically come out yet? It's dead. Half-Life 3.
Confirmed.
Vive launch title.
Did you take the E in Vive and turn it into 3? Half-Life 3.
And then use the V and the I and the other V to create the lambda symbol.
Yeah.
Confirmed. Why do they call it a Vive? It's a stupid name.
It's so dumb.
So they'll still be on their podcast, and then after that, I'll be back at some point.
Things will return to normal.
Yeah, eventually.
Mm-hmm. One day.
Thank you for listening. Please go and check out the website. You can review us on iTunes and all that crap. But we've gone on way too long at this point.
Yeah.
So we're ending this podcast now. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. Love you.